Hi, Dave Johnston here with Day Trade the Markets. We're looking at a 2-minute chart of the Feb 2017 crude contract. I was filled a couple minutes ago. Sorry it took me so long to get the video started, but we are long for 52.74. We had a gap opening lower, and I just want to talk about that. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put in a limit order here at 84. Sorry, I need to. Haven't got that in yet, so that's going to go in there at 884. Okay, for our first objective. We're long from 74 right here, which is this 84 is what, 3 ticks or so below the high of the day over here at 82 ticks below 86, I guess is the high here. So let me just go ahead. I also need to put in a sell stop just below this low here. Haven't even done this yet. So that's at 70. So I'll put it here. I'll put it at 67. I'll put a sell stop in there. I'll just put it at 4. I think we're going to get filled on this any moment here. So we'll just kind of keep monitoring that. Okay. So now I just want to talk about the market here. This crude market for a minute. This is what occurred late yesterday. And so late yesterday, well, we talk a little bit more about yesterday. The market kind of went sideways for after a good run up, and this movement here. Where's my? Here's my arrow here. This movement here was after the market had rallied nicely. And we got the selling that came in, basically went sideways for the rest of the day. Then overnight, it sold off, and so as a result, we gap lower. But we have been in a nice intraday up auction in the crude of late. And you can see it opened here, took a bit of a dip, and then started to rally. And what I like about this rally is the aggression. Now, this light green is the weakest of our 3 aggression, but you can see this green bar here is the second strongest of our aggression. So we got very aggressive buying coming in. Now, if the sellers had any kind of ideas about setting the market lower, that was really their opportunity there. After a gap opening lower and a dip and a rally with this aggressive buy, you can see that it just went sideways from there. There was some aggression here that came down, almost made it to the low of that bar, and then turned right around, and then we ended up with new highs for the day. Let me just shift it over here now so you can see it a little bit better. And then another light green bar, which is our weakest level of aggression, but still aggression. Once again, it dipped down here, towards the low of it. Actually took out the low of that green bar, but you can see it immediately turned around and started to make new highs again. And then we had a series of bars here with aggression, and so with the market moving higher like that on waves of aggression, obviously the areas to be buying this is towards the low of these areas. And so when you've got good aggression like this coming in, you know, maybe it's going to get back to this level and get you filled, maybe not. But it did get back close towards the low of this green one before moving up again and moving up. Okay, we just got filled on that. So I just want to go ahead and put in a marker here so we know where that is, because that was at 84. 84 right here. Okay, there's our marker. And just bold that a little bit so we can see it a bit better. So we're looking at our long trade here. Let me just shift it over here again. That has come up into a lot of this volume from yesterday, which is likely going to be a hindrance to the market going any higher. A lot of volume in here as the market went sideways yesterday. So, you know, if you take a look at this, and I'll just go ahead and do one of these retracements. This is where it really started here, came down to this area here. So you got a midpoint right in here at 97. So 97 would be the likely area of a target right in the middle of all that volume. And so I'm going to go ahead and sell 2 more just below that. I'll put it 94. Let's see how we can do with that. We'll sell 2 at 94. So, okay, we've got that in place. So, and I should make another couple of markers here just so we know that where our entry is and also where our current stop is. Now, the current stop, okay, we've moved 10 or so ticks. I'm going to actually move that stop up to break even. Okay, sorry, 74 is our, there we go, 74 is our break even, okay. And our next objective is up here. I'll put a marker in for that. So this has been actually a relatively easy day to kind of follow, because when you have a market that is in an intraday up auction and it gaps lower and tests towards recent support. By the way, that's another thing that I didn't mention here, is that we had a good support because the market sold off fairly hard on on Wednesday, and it went down and made a low at 32. I meant to put that in because I was utilizing that. So that was the low there, and you can see that when the market did dip early in the day, it hit what, 34 or something. So it came within 2 ticks of the support. So in other words, the responsive buyers, in other words, responsive meaning buyers willing to buy below current prices, really stepped in quite nicely here and drove the market up quickly, and didn't even allow it to get into that support number at 32. So it was the other thing I wanted to mention as far as the relative strength of this market as it's moved higher here. So, I mean, who knows? It could rally all the way through here and have a big day up for all I know. I mean, the way these markets are sometimes manipulated, maybe always manipulated, actually. Of course, today is the 23rd. By the way, it's December 23rd, 2016. So, it's Friday, right before Christmas. So it's a relatively low volume kind of day. So you really want to take into consideration, for those of you that are trading, you want to make that adjustment if you're utilizing volume. But I mean, we use volume, but we're looking at aggressive volume and total volume and speed of the market, and then the auction on an intraday basis, and then really using that as a basis to see what's going on the next day, to see whether or not we're getting confirmation of our belief of what we think the intraday direction of the auction is. Intraday meaning just from day to day. So we look at it primarily from kind of a swing auction basis, meaning the past several days, and sometimes we have a direction up or down. Sometimes we just have a direction sideways. Like, for example, we had a good example of that actually just recently in the ES. It was going sideways and then popped up higher above the consolidation, had a nice vertical move once that horizontal development had finished. So we're always looking at the condition of the market in that sense. Now, as this market is moving higher, you can see that we've got these 2 green bars here. So I really, I could leave the stop actually below here, but you can see the low of this most recent green bars right here at 81. So I'm going to raise this stop up here to 78. Okay, 78. We've gotten very close to our second objective. We hit 91. We're trying to get our second objective here is at 94. So we'll just leave it the way it is. I just want to make a few comments about, what's going on here. As a matter of fact, I should go ahead and place a new marker there at our new stop. So we got markers in here at our entry, our current stop, our first objective, and our second objective. So, and this 97 is actually the structure that we're looking at as far as at 97, which is why we put our sell limit in just a little bit below that at 94, and it just hit 93. So we're getting pretty darn close to it. So anyway, we're all set, and there's some reasoning behind why we made this long trade, where we made the long trade, where's our protection on the trade, where we're placing our stops, where we are adjusting our stops. So and that's of course utilizing the day trade the market software. So I'll go ahead here and pause the recording, and I'll pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording here again. Just want to keep you up to date. We have had that little bit of a dip here. It kept us in nicely. I think it got down about 82. Our stop's at 78, so still in a nice long trade here. We've just come back up and touched on to 93 again. You can see we hit it here, we hit it here, now we've hit it here. These are 2-minute charts. So hopefully we're going to get filled on this pretty darn soon. Be a little bit patient with it, but that's okay. Anyway, just want to bring you up to date. That's where we're at with this, and once again I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, it's obviously having a tough time getting up through that 93 that it's hit several times, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust this and exit here for 15 ticks, so that'll be at 89, so I'll bring this down to 89. There we go there, so make an adjustment on that, and hopefully we can get filled here any moment. There's our second target. So I've shifted, in other words, I've shifted the second target down from 20 tick objective to a 15 tick objective. We did get 10 ticks on our first objective down here. So yeah, who knows? I mean, this 93 is obviously, it's struggling there, and keeps coming off of it. So if it goes ahead and bursts through there, we're still going to have 2 contracts in play. Should we get filled on this one here at 89. So I just want to bring you up to date on that, and we'll take it from there if in fact we can get even filled on this 89. So I think what I will do though is I'm going to put a sell stop just below here for 2. The low of this bar right here is at 84. I'm going to put it at 83. So sell stop 2 at 83. And I'm going to change this. Okay, we just got filled on that, so we are down to 2. So I'll cancel this stop here for 4 at 78. I'll leave the sell stop there at 2 at 83. So we still got 2 contracts on board. I may have been impatient with that, but anyway, it's probably going to go up and hit 94 here right now. Anyway, so 10 ticks on the first 4 contracts and 15 ticks on the next 2, and we've got 2 contracts left, and our sell stop is at 83, and we're long from 74, so we've locked in 9 ticks on the last 2 as well. So that's where we're at for this, and you know, hopefully it's going to break higher here, get above that 93, and have a nice run. If not, we do have our stop in place. So anyway, just want to bring you up to date on that, and once again I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, we are getting that lift here finally. We've got a nice green bar here, good aggression. It has hit through the 97. Our next target up is 15. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an order in to sell 1 a little bit below that. Let's say at 09. We'll try and sell 1 at 09, see what happens there with that next target being, and I'll just put a, yeah, there's roughly at 15 there, 15, 16 area. So now as far as our stop is concerned, this is a nice green bar right here. It has moved through 97, but you know, I don't know if it's going to stay up there, but the low of this green bar here is right there at 90, I believe. Let's see, let me just check. Yeah, it's at 90. So I'm going to go ahead and raise the stop to 87, just 3 ticks below it. So just make that adjustment there. So that'll lock in, 13 ticks on the final 2. So, okay, we're a little impatient on that for the 94. So that costs us 5 ticks on 2 of the contracts, but anyway, that's okay. Still making some good profit on this particular trade. So we'll see if it can get up and hit that 15 area. That would be nice, but we'll just have to wait and see. So just want to bring you up to date on the management of this trade at this time. So that's it for now, and I should actually put a marker in there, shouldn't I? Yeah, this was our stop here. So there we go, because we have our marker here for our entry, for our first objective, the second objective, and now our stop. So, and I should actually put another one up here for that next objective that we're trying to get filled at, which is at 5309. Okay, so everything's in place. I'll once again go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording again. The market has dropped to just within a tick of our stops. Okay, there we just got filled. So that was at 87, and we were long from 74, so 13 on the last two contracts. So 10 ticks on the first four, 15 ticks on the next two, and 13 on the final two contracts. So we knew that into this area 97, roughly, how high did it get? It hit 5304. So 97 is what, 7 ticks higher. So it took out that area by 7 ticks, although we knew that the 5315 was, the next area, so it was kind of extended from here. But at any rate, it did probe above it a little bit. Now it's come off. So that's fine. I mean, the trade worked out well. We could have some aggressive selling in here, which could very well give us another opportunity. But I think this trade panned out nicely because we did have the good buying that came in. We had the pause and the follow through all the way up to a known resistance area. And we're out of 6 of the 8 contracts, or 3/4 of the position, by the time it did get into that resistance area, and just holding on to the last 2 contracts, last 1/4 of the position, to see if in fact it could really break through. Obviously it didn't do that, and we got stopped here, but still had a profit on the final 2 contracts. So yeah, that's it for today. So this is a trade in the February 2017 crude for December 23rd, 2016. Today is Friday. This is Dave Johnston with Day Trade the Markets. So thanks for watching. Of course, if you want to contact us, you can reach us at info@daytradethemarkets. Anyway, good trading to you, and we'll see you next time.